Hey guys, and welcome to today's first impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a soon-to-be or recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at Internet Caf Simulator 2, which is a game by Cheesecake Devs, and you basically start from nothing in a low end of town and try and work your internet cafe to amazing heights. It's an interesting game, and the fact that it's a sequel is quite surprising considering it seems to be making some rather novice mistakes still. That being said, we'll do what we always do. We'll look at the options first, and then we'll jump into the actual gameplay and see what this game is all about. So let's waste no time and get straight into it. Alright, so your options are pretty woeful and they don't seem to keep the settings that you actually stick with. I don't know whether that's because the game hasn't been saved, because it went horribly wrong and I figured I might as well just start again, or whether it's just that it doesn't save certain options, but I actually put it on Ultra and it keeps going back to high. And the motion blur, even if you switch that off, you still get this weird bobbing movement when you move. It's a bit disconcerting and isn't really ideal. Outside of that, there really isn't a lot to sort of change here. It's very, very simplistic, and it would be nice if they actually added more. For example, you've got your shadow and your anti-aliasing, but your anti-aliasing doesn't actually give you any other options. It's just on or off. Your volume is just one master slider, and there is no textures. There's no like foliage. You've got rain in the game and stuff. There's nothing that you can change and customize. You've just got your basic settings. It's not really good enough for 2022. And again, if this really is a sequel, I would have expected better. That being said, let's go into the game and see what the actual gameplay is like. Okay, so when you start a new game, you get given the controls. These are not rebindable, which is kind of apparent from the fact that there is no options for controls in the main menu. It's a bit of a letdown, and it is pretty straightforward. I don't know why you've got the option to punch and hit people with a bat, but here we are. You load in, and this is your apartment, and I don't know why it's been done in this sort of a style, really. I don't know why you would have this as your apartment with a nice little single bed. You know, it's very fetching, but then you go out of the building, and as a note, the tutorial isn't very good either. It doesn't really explain how stuff works. It just kind of expects you to sort of guess it, which is fine. Hand-holding isn't for everybody, but when it comes to key things in the game, it would be nice if it, you know, did give you that information. We're going to go down. Like I say, there's this weird bobbing movement when you walk. It's not the best. I've had it in other games before. It makes me feel a little bit nauseous after a time. The running, you can sprint and stuff, which is fine, but you do have a stamina bar. And then, as you see, as we come down here, we go to our cafe, or at least you try to, because people. It's probably worth noting that you might want to turn the sensitivity down a little bit on your mouse as well. So yeah, you've got this really nice sort of Indian themed kind of apartment, and then you're in this area which looks, I don't know, it's just weird. It doesn't fit. And then here you are. This is your area, your cafe, if you like. First job is to clean it. So you've got to pick it up. And then your mop goes over the trash, and that's how you clean it. Like, you've got to hold it on. Doesn't really make a huge amount of sense. I don't know why you can't just use your hands to pick up the trash. Also, it takes a weird amount of time. Some things get swept up really quickly. Some things really, really don't. It's a bit weird, and it's a problem that goes along with a lot of this game in that it makes you do stuff that is, for the most part, kind of redundant, and it feels like it's drawing you out. It feels like it's making you spend longer on the game than what you really have to. If you're going to make this a mechanic, just make it so that once I've gone over the trash, that it clears it up. I shouldn't have to sit on here for X amount of time whilst I wait for it to scrub away. It doesn't really make much sense, especially when the actual animation is kind of basic, you know? Turn on the power, use the switch. So we'll throw away that. We will put on the power. There you go. Now, this is where I kind of screwed up a little bit last time, because it says on Zamora, but when you switch on your computer, your shop, if you like, the screen isn't... It's a bit weird. The screen isn't where it should be. So you can't actually see Zamora straight away, right? You've got to go on to... If we press F here, so we go into the full screen mode, you have to go into this, and then you've got to go here, right? Which is Zamora, basically Amazon. And that's what you've got to use in order to complete the tutorial task. But what you could do, if you didn't want to do that, is come out of here. Is if you walk around the corner, there's actually a second-hand shop you can just buy stuff from, which is quicker because you don't have to wait for it to be delivered. It's also a little bit cheaper too. So you can just go here and buy some stuff that you need, which honestly I would expect you to do over a over like buying online and waiting for it to be delivered, because it is just genuinely cheaper. Like, you can buy an old keyboard and stuff, which looks old and degenerate, but it costs you more, and I don't quite understand why they're making it so you've got to buy from a thing on the computer that takes a while to actually be able to find. It doesn't really make much sense, but here we are. So you go through, and again, the screen isn't lined up where you would expect it to be, so you make it bigger, and then you can see all your options down here. So it wants me to buy a case, monitor, keyboard, and mouse. Cases. We've got 2,000. So we could, in theory, go for something a little bit nicer than just the old stuff. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go for one of them. We're going to go for a decent-ish keyboard. We'll go for the class one. Why not? We're going to go for a fairly decent mouse. Why on earth a mouse is $120 when it's just a bog standard office mouse? I don't know. It doesn't make much sense. And keyboard, monitor. We need a monitor. Just going to buy an old LCD. So there you go. Go to that. It's 1,100 quid. We've got 2,000. Boom. And then it's just like, wait for the products to arrive. And you just expected to just wait. And it doesn't give you an idea. You know, you can check your order here, right? You can see. But it doesn't give you an ETA. It doesn't tell you how long it's going to take for it to be delivered. And you just kind of left waiting. Now, if I was to then go around to the second-hand shop, I could buy all the things and it would allow me to start this up. So the tutorial doesn't really make much sense either. There is a bad thing about going to the second-hand store though. You can only carry one item at a time. There's no way of like going and buying more stuff or taking more stuff and bringing it back. So it's a lot of back and forth and to and fro-ing. And again, it just feels like the game is making it so that you're sort of just sat here and you're waiting more than you're actually, you know, doing stuff. And it's a bit of a shame because I don't want to sit waiting for stuff to be delivered. I just want to have me stuff here. Now, interestingly enough, because I bought secondhand on my first go round, actually caught fire. It just exploded. That just happened. And if that happens, you've got to use your extinguisher, but your extinguisher's only got X amount of charges on it. And it's very, very finicky with how you put the fire out. And if you're not quick enough, it will just explode and then you're out of pocket. So, yeah, I feel that once this game is you've got it going and you've got your items and you've got it all set up, then it will speed up. Now, apparently my items are here, but I don't know where they've been put. Like, it says place the products and get the computer ready. I'd love to. Where are the was delivered? So where have they been delivered to? Have they been delivered to my home address? Why would they not be delivered here? And this is what I mean. Like, the game just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Because if I've got to go all the way back to my house, unless they've all been packaged up and I just bring the package with me, that's again a lot of toing and froing. Where am I? So I'm there. So I want to go just straight down here. And again, it just makes it feel like it's elongating the process. It makes it feels like I am having to do a lot more than what I should have to do in order to get this to work. Has it been? It wouldn't be in my house, surely. So I've got a load of stuff that I've got to put somewhere, but I don't know where it's delivered it, where the items are. It just says they've been delivered, and I can't see them. This game, you've got to be very... Oh, there it is. Right, so put them there. Right, okay, cool. This game is going to be really, really frustrating, and until you get it all set up and you get through the tutorial, it's going to be like pulling teeth. I already don't want to play this anymore because it's just frustrating me. And again, for a sequel, I would expect much, much better. Once you get into it, once you get past this tutorial area, once you get past the weird mechanics, once you get past the weird movement, once you get past all of that nonsense, it could be good. But I get the feeling that it's just not going to be worth the time put in to try and get it to that point. Let me know in those comments down below whether you agree with this or not, and I shall see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao, ciao.